Markster is an app that's simple and fast to use. So let's open up a photograph, dive right in and add a watermark. If you ever get lost, in the top right hand corner there's an I button for information. Top left hand corner, the camera button, take a picture or browse your albums. I'm going to browse my albums. Okay, let's get in here. Let's take this photograph that I shot in Afghanistan about a year ago. Okay, it's hard to see the text on here, but if I just grab it and move it up, it says tap here. So let's follow the instructions and tap here. Now, we're going to delete that text, and I'm just going to add a very quick copyright notice. Just get my name on there, and then put the year that I am. It was shot in 2012. Actually, it was shot in 2011. Okay, now anytime in Markster you want to get out of one of these slide ups or these text bars, just tap the photograph and it goes away and you're back on the screen. Now, this next thing I want to do is change the color of the text because it's pretty hard to see in a black and white photograph. So on the bottom of the screen, second button from the left is the color palette. Tap that and then you see the black and white rectangle. That will just switch between black and white. There's a whole lot of other colors that you can go through, but I pretty much work in black or white. I'm also going to adjust the opacity. I'm going to take it down a little bit because I don't want the watermark to overpower my photograph. Now let's tap the screen again and get rid of that push-up bar. Okay, the next thing I want to do is change my font. So third button from the left, you see the A, tap that, it brings up the font. I like to work with a font called Copperplate. I think it looks pretty good, pretty simple. So again, tap the screen and that gets rid of the roll-up bar. Now, I'm going to grab that text and I'm going to take it down the bottom, just like that. It's way too big, so with a simple pinch and squeeze gesture, I'm going to reduce it. Maybe that's a little bit much. Okay, that's about right. So I'll pop it over here. I don't think it's overpowering the photograph yet. Now, if you want to add a little extra to it, make it hard for someone to Photoshop it out or just add a little design feature, let's go to the laboratory bottle. That's fourth from the left. This is where I like to experiment. So let's tap that. And there's a whole lot of different things you can do in here. You can reverse the text if you want it easier to use, or easier to see, I mean. But what I like to do is add some parallel lines. Now this makes it really difficult if somebody's going to try and Photoshop that out. I'll just go back into that laboratory for a second. There's some other things here. You see at the bottom there's the opportunity to justify text. So if you have multiple lines of text, you can justify them left, right or center. And there's a couple of other things there. Have a little experiment, but that lets you play with it. Now let's get back out of that. The next thing I want to do is go into okay, so here you can add extra layers. If you want to add extra layers, you can also add images, but I'm not going to do any of that this time around. You've also got this filing cabinet, which is third in from the right. That allows you to save your templates. I've got a whole lot of different templates. I'll just show you some of them here. It's pretty full on. That's kind of similar to what I'm using. Another 3 lines, a fairly subtle one, but let's go back to what we've made today. Okay, tap the photograph, get rid of that screen. Now, the other thing, and this is the big exciting feature of Markster 2 that we've launched, which is the icon on the bottom, second from the right, with the little pencil. This adds IPTC functionality. This means you can go in and add a caption. So this one was already filled out when I took this photograph in Afghanistan in Kunar back in 2011. So all my information is there. I've filled that in, so it goes to my photo agency, and they can make sure that it gets licensed properly, and every newspapers and magazines have got the information that they need. What you can also do at the bottom, if you see this this icon in the middle of the bottom of the screen for the map, if you tap that, that will open up a map of the world. Now, I purposely don't have GPS coordinates on my photographs because of the kind of work that I do, but let's say it was a photograph, it was just from London somewhere. I can just tap the screen and I can add a pin and say, right, that's where the photograph was taken. You can zoom right in on this and pick out your street. Alternatively, if you open a photograph and you find an icon that says your GPS is in here and you don't want it to be in here, then it's really simple. Up in the top right corner, just tap that delete button and it's gone. And then go to the top left button, go back to IPTC. Again, on the bottom you can see the filing cabinet, so you can save templates in here. You can have a whole lot of different templates depending on your photographs. But I'm going to go to the top left hand corner, tap the Markster button, and I'm back out to my photograph. And now it's really simple. On the bottom, in the right hand corner, you see the classic share button. Tap that, and now I've got the option to either save the photograph to camera roll, or I can share it to Twitter or Facebook or Tumblr, or I can email it. And it is pretty much as simple as that. And that is how Markster works.